Welcome to Counter Flashing 101. Okay, this is what we got going on here. We have a 60-inch wide piece of 5-pon molding. And this is a crosshead. Now it's going to go over here. And people were like, well, you know, making counter flashing takes a long time. So after a lifetime, I pretty much have established a method that I like to use. What I do, depending on the counter flashing, I get my cut and I lay the pieces out. And I make my marks and I go ahead and cut them, and this took about maybe an hour. I'm not the fastest guy in the world, so a comfortable hour drinking coffee, making your marks, making nice cuts and welts. This took a little longer. This is a piece of 16-ounce copper rolled to the shape and profile of the crosshead over there with a downturn on it. Now this has been turned with a needle nose pliers. This could have been only a few turns and then folded over and beaten flat, heated up and smashed it flat on an anvil and maybe polished it, would never even see them. But I tend to like it, and the customer agreed with me. And this is contiguous. And then there's a separate piece here, if you look the whole way around. And then a solder joint. If you look at the back, it has like a split upturn. And then here you go. You'll see what I'm talking about. And that's how I get my roll. You could have took a stretcher or beat it with a hammer and slowly brought it to shape and leave it a solid piece. But for being essentially a sidewall flashing, it's unnecessary. So what will happen is this pencil mark will get cut out, and this will slide up underneath it there, or vice versa, however you want to think about it. And these counter flashings, they overlap each other. They're independent pieces, which counter flashing should always be. And that's what you do. And what I'll do is I'll actually drive to the job with this still nailed down on this board, maybe a little saran wrap or shrink wrap or another board screwed down on it to keep the wind from catching it in the back of a truck. And there you go. There's counter flashing 101. And what will happen is when you go to install this, and I install this regular flashing in mortar. So this will get a down bend and an up bend, and then it'll get pressed into the joint, and then covered over, and the joint will be full of mortar. But what will happen is the bricks, depending on whether they're kiltered or whatever, or whether the stagger and the height of the course is not perfect, you just go ahead and when you rest it down there, make sure that this edge is plumb. Find out where your brick is. Make a mark. Find out where your brick is here, because these pieces will go in one at a time in series. And you make a mark, and that's where your bends will be, and then it'll fit perfect. And then this edge here will always be plumb, and it's the best possible work you can have. Okay, counter flashing 101 over. Rate, subscribe, and comment. Wow.